Master TD from dreadforge.com, along with my good buddy Gimme and
What's
a
up?
recent acquaintance from the Daggerfall Covenant side of ESO, Badday from Beer and Peanuts Guild.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Alright, today we're going to be doing for y'all just a ESO month in review. We're coming to the end of the free 5-day period they've given us for all the maintenances and downtimes. And we're just going to give our personal opinions on this game. We're not going to bash it like a bunch of other YouTubers have done, saying the game was unfinished at release, but really which MMO is not completely finished at release. So basically it's not going to be a 1 to 10 scale. It's going to be just personal opinions and what we see happening and what we would like to see change. But anyway, the talking points we're going to be going over today is going to be graphics, music, the cinematic scenes that I'm sure everybody saw before the game actually released. Going by the story, we're going to be, with the story side of things, we're not going to give any spoilers, or we're going to try not to give any spoilers. We're going to be going over content, controls, and gameplay / mechanics. But anyway, we're going to go straight into graphics. Gimme, if you would, sir, you start us off with graphics.
The graphics in this game I actually enjoy. I think it's a good medium between the photorealism that we saw in EverQuest 2 and some of the more cartoony ones. It's not overly done, but it's very well done. There's a richness in the buildings and the lighting. I just really enjoy it.
Yeah, Bad Day, what do you think about it?
I tend to agree with Gimme. I like the balance in it. It's not overpowering. You don't have to have a supercomputer to play it. So, and you don't lose too much if you turn the graphics and everything down. They kind of keep the aesthetics even all the way around, where each level of your graphics setting just provides a little bit more, but maintains balance. And it's just, I mean, it's just overall enjoyable to play with the aesthetics.
Yeah, I also really enjoy the graphics on it. And with what you said about it, you don't really have to have a really top-end system to run it. I'm running a i5 machine with two 560 Ti's and SLI. Gimme, what are you running for your graphics card?
I'm just running a GTX 660.
So it's
I
a
run
little
it
bit bigger
60 to
card.
70. I'm sorry, 60
Yeah.
to 70 frames a second.
Yeah, it's a little bit beefier card than what I've got, but I'm actually running two of the lower model cards in SLI. So, and Bad Day, you're running a ATI card, right?
Yeah, I'm actually, like I said, I've got an i7 processor for my core processor, but I'm actually only running a single graphics card, and it's the R9 270. So it's just a mid-range graphics card, and I'm able to play this on ultra settings with no problem.
You know, even with my 560s and SLI, which I don't think the game's optimized for SLI yet, but I mean, I tend to get, before I start recording, I'm running at about 50 frames a second without any stuttering or tearing or anything. But once I start recording, I'm hitting around 40 to 45. But that's just something to do with fraps. It's got a real bad habit of dropping your frame rates. So really, I mean, all of us are on the same opinion that the game looks good. The feel of the environments is good, and the type of environments are really, really varied. When you're playing Ebonheart Pact, I mean, the snow effects look very good when you're in like Bleak Rock Isle or in East March. I mean, I really like the environment effects. And also the freaking, I mean, this touches a little bit in the music side of things, but the sound effects in the game, like when anchors drop and stuff, that's really well done. I've heard Gimme say time and again on TeamSpeak, when that stuff happens, he actually has to look out his window to make sure it's not thundering outside. So, I mean, the graphics are very rich, they're very vibrant. A lot of people say the graphics look kind of washed out with the color palette they use, but it works. I mean, does it look as good as Skyrim? In my opinion, no, it does not. But everybody who's played any kind of MMO for any amount of time knows that an MMO is not going to look as good as a single player experience because it's got to run on a more varied type of system. And once you start trying to push an MMO to have that type of graphics in it, you're going to run into problems like Age of Conan had, where most computers would not run it. I spent about $3,000 on a computer just to play Age of Conan in release, and it still would not run correctly.
And if I
But
may just step in with the people comparing it to Skyrim, the graphics may not be on the same level as a console, but the armor traits, the look of the game, it's still true to the Elder Scrolls line. I mean, you look at the game, you know exactly what game you're playing just by looking at the armor sets. I mean, so they held true to the traditional Elder Scrolls look, and I just think they did an amazing job.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that part because a bunch of people out there have said that this is a subpar Elder Scrolls entry, which I could disagree. I couldn't disagree more with that statement that everybody else is making because it, like you said, it does hold true. The styling's there, the story's there, the just the content is there. Now, is it 100% like what a bunch of people were wanting, like with a multiplayer experience for Skyrim? No, it's not. But then again, you've got that give and take thing. You've got to stay true to your lore, but you got to switch it around a little bit to get it to work in an MMO feel. You got anything to add to it, Gimme?
Well, they said from the beginning that there was a give and take because some things just don't transfer from a single-player game into a multiplayer game. The only negative that I've seen in graphics in that is there are some times when I want to jump over a banister or I want to run up a edge of a rock and I can't. And you have to move back, you have to get a running jump, and there's a few things here and there in that. But overall, it's one of the better looking games out there right now. In EverQuest, there was a problem because they went photorealism. Everything looked so good at the time, but you couldn't have more than 10, 15 people on the screen. You couldn't even PvP because the people would be past you by the time they actually showed up on your screen. So this is a great balance, and having as many people we've seen in PvP on the same screen is pretty doggone good, if you ask me.
Yep, that is true. All right, if nobody has anything to add to graphics, we will move right into music. And also in music, we're going to touch on like the sound effects and stuff. So, Gimme, what you think about the music and the sound in the game?
I turned the music off. Sorry.
Weirdo.
It's the truth. I usually don't play with the music in the background very much. The sound effects are great. Like when the thunder and that in the environmentals is happening. I actually looked outside I live in Florida, but I looked outside and said, I got a storm coming? So I really enjoy those.
Yeah. All right, Badday, what do you think about it?
I'm like Gimme. I cut the music down. Just personal preference. I don't play with music in the background. But the sound effects are just, they're on par with the graphics. I think they're awesome. I like I don't know if you've seen the ebb and flow where it literally gets louder if you face where the sound is coming from. Case in point, the anchor drops. Even if you can't see the anchor drop, you hear it dropping. If you just turn your character around, you'll figure out where the anchor is dropping because the sound gets a little bit louder. So even the sound has a direction to it in this game, which is just impressive to me.
I did not pick that up. That's interesting.
Yep, they did make very good use of directional sounds. And some of the sounds you hear in game are very well done. Not just the anchors and stuff, but like in combat, it actually sounds like steel on steel when you're hitting something. Want to hit that cooking fire. But bottom line is the sound's very good. They didn't touch on the music much. I still keep the music on, but it's very low where I can just hear it very, very slightly in the background. And they did a good job of using the music to actually immerse you in the game. You actually feel epic when combat music starts, or just the background music in general. It does a very good job of lending ambiance to you actually feeling epic a lot of people say that they don't feel epic because in other Elder Scrolls entries, your character was the be all end all badass. But you got to remember, you're still just a foot troop here. But if nobody else has anything to add to music, we'll move into the next one. Y'all good on that one?
Yep.
Yep, good.
All right, cool. Let's talk about these cinematic scenes that we saw leading up to the release of it. Give me what you think.
I think they should take the 3 shorts and turn them into a movie. I mean, you got 15, 20 minutes there. Just put some in between story, and you got an hour-long movie.
True. How do you think they looked?
I think they look great, but there again, you're talking about a cinematic trailer that's produced for a specific reason. One thing about cinematics is always is they usually don't represent what you see in the game, but in this case, what you see in the game is pretty much the way the characters look.
Yeah, for the most part.
That was surprising.
All right. What do you think about them? Badday?
Again, I like the cinematics. I like how watching it, even without words, they didn't use any spoken word in the cinematics, but they were able to get just a main gist of the struggle of the storyline in the cinematic story. When you came in to play the game from day one, you kind of got the feel that there were 3 groups that were once fighting each other, that had allied themselves together to defeat, a greater evil, and that they still weren't on friendly terms with each other, but they were working together for this one cause. And I kind of like that. You kind of got a shot in the dark at what was going to be the main part of the storyline, across the board for all 3 covenants.
Okay. Well, with the cinematics, going back before the game even released, give me what did I say about Elder Scrolls Online before I even saw a cinematic for it?
You're gonna make the old guy think in the past memory, right?
Yeah. I always do that.
Don't remember. Sorry.
My exact words before the cinematics ever hit, when we saw some in-game footage, I watched in-game footage and I was like, I just really do not think I will be touching this game.
I remember that now. Yeah.
Yep. And then as soon as that cinematic with the Nord pulling the freaking werewolf through the damn floor,
Epic.
and then coming up and then looking at the other guys from the Daggerfall Covenant and the Aldmere Dominion, I was like, okay, this is something that I could probably get into. Because it made me want to play a damn Nord Dragon Knight, which was my first character. Well, right now I'm playing a Nightblade, but I'll be going back to my Dragon Knight probably this week. But it gave you a sense of epicness that a lot of games do not capture. But also that's a two-headed sword with back to the graphics thing of it. A big complaint that a lot of people have had was they wanted the game to look like the cinematics. You cannot make a game look like a damn cinematic. If you do, it's got to be single player, because given back again to the type of stuff that you got to pull off with an MMO, you can't having that much detail. With the cinematics, I believe they really succeeded in capturing the feel of everything and sparking everybody's interest with that.
They did mine, because I was pretty much in the same boat as you. I was really on the fence about trying it or not.
Yep. But once I saw that first cinematic with that Nord beating the hell out of that werewolf, I was pretty much hooked, and I started digging and digging and digging, and finally decided what I wanted to play on,
Yep.
Anybody else got anything they want to add to it?
No, I'm good.
All right,
I'm
cool.
good.
Cool. All right, now we're going to move into content. Well, actually, story, really. To tell you the truth, we're going to try to stay away from the main story. Let's just cover like typical quests and stuff you see, which people see me click through quests and stuff while I'm recording. But Gavin, what do you think about the story?
I actually, for the first time in many years, have started to read and get involved in some of the stories. Ever since EverQuest 1, it's normally just click, 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 get me through this thing so I can get on with what I want to do. But the stories here are engaging enough that it actually, wait a minute, what's happening here? You're doing something with a village, you're helping, you're curing a disease, or you're doing something, and it's interesting.
Yeah, and I think it lends a lot to. It adds to the immersion to it because there's some villages you'll come to and they'll be under attack by bandits and shit, and you'll have bandits all throughout the town. But as soon as you complete the story quest, the bandits aren't there anymore. So you actually feel a sense of accomplishment by helping this town destroy these bandits. No more green glove crap, you know.
Yeah, green gloves.
All right, Badday, what do you think about the storyline so far?
I really like it. It hasn't been boring. I just died because I was talking, but anyway, it hasn't been boring. It's been really involved. It's actually kept my attention. I'm not bored with questing. I'm not bored with moving from one zone to the other. I'm not trying to rush from one zone to the next. Like, I actually find myself really hunting for quests and things to do just because I enjoy it. And I haven't had that in a game in a long time. Most games just fall short on the deep storyline for questing. And it's either that or you have to wait till you get to the end, and then the end game storyline is really good. And this one, I felt involved in the game the entire time. Like I said, trying to stay away from spoilers, but just, man, some of the mainline quests are just pretty awesome. With the Cold Harbor quest line and stuff like that you got going on with the main storyline. It's nice, and again, it's true to the lore of the Elder Scrolls series. The whole time you're playing, you know exactly what game you're playing. There's no question. You're just fully involved in Elder Scrolls, and I think they did a really good job with it.
Yeah, one thing that I really like about the stories and quests in general is, yes, the basic mechanics of go collect 10 bear asses is still there. I mean, that's just a staple in MMO. In MMOs in general, is go out, kill 10 things, come back to me, and I'll give you some money and maybe an item. But they have done enough to make it where it is interesting, because it seems like a bunch of the quests, they're actually telling you, go do this where I can do this. And it just gives you a lot more, a bigger sense of achievement, I guess. And touching on the story quests, it's varied enough where it really immerses you, making you feel like you have an impact on the actual world, which really in essence you don't, because it's not affecting players around you, but it makes you personally as a gamer feel a big sense of accomplishment. All right, if there's nothing else we're going to add to the story, because I don't really want to get into any spoilers or anything. Y'all good with that one?
Yep.
All right, now we're going to move into a big one, which is content. Emmy, what do you think?
Well, how much bigger do we want the zones? I mean, really. It's huge. When we went into beta and that, just doing Bleak Rock Isle, we had enough stuff to keep ourselves busy. There's things everywhere. If you get one of these add-ons that actually show you what's on the map, you don't have a space on the map that doesn't have something to find, something to see, something to go to, a quest, a village, or something else. It's so packed full. It's almost daunting in a way. You're sitting there going, wow, I got to go through all this stuff?
So you pretty much agreeing that this thing has got a ton of content for release.
Unless you're one of the people, and I'm not trying to pick on anybody specifically, but run 1 to 50 in like one sitting. You never get up off the computer, and you just do it all the way. You are missing 90% of the game. That's not what this game was made to be done.
Okay. Badday, what you think about content so far?
I like it, man. It just whatever you're in the mood to do. Whether you want to run quests, there's no shortage of quests. You just want to hunt sky shards. You can hunt sky shards for hours. You can run dungeons for hours. If you want to run them by yourself, there's solo dungeons. There's group dungeons. There's a ton of things to do in the game. There's no shortage of content right now. Like I agree with Gimme. The only people that are really complaining about content are the people that just beeline straight for 50 and skipped half the content behind them. If you're gonna complain about content, you just gotta at least experience the content that's put before you. So, I mean, I just think there's tons to do. That's what's really slowed my leveling is my ADD kicks in and I start going off and exploring other content that's around me and I forget what I was actually doing. You just become immersed in like blacksmithing or woodworking and the professions or the skills and like I said, there's just tons to do in this game.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, I've never fallen short of having something to do, and that's what content is. It's something to keep your player immersed, something to keep your player busy while they are playing. Nobody wants to be in game like I can remember times in like Aeon or WoW or Age of Conan sitting in a town for God knows how long, spamming, I need a group for this, I need a group for that. Or heck, like in Final Fantasy 14, you had to sit there and spam for groups if you didn't have people in your guild on to actually do stuff. But content is not just a story quest. It's not that straight line race to 50. It's stuff that branches off from that one line to give you more things to do. That's what encompasses content. A bunch of people are very confused on what content entails. And this game has done, in my very personal opinion, this game has done an excellent job on giving you stuff to do. I mean, bringing up my skill sheet, I've got a crap ton of stuff that I can work towards, a crap ton of stuff I can actually work with. And that's a part of content, is filling out your character, finding out what you want to do, doing what you want to do, and coming up with your different spec. That's your content, which branches off into your sky shards. Collecting 3 gives you a skill point. So I need to go get me 2 more to get me another skill point where I can put another point into maybe my blacksmithing or my alchemy. The crafting system in this game is very rich and varied. Do I think it's 100% complete yet? No, I don't, because I do not see a jewel crafting where I can craft rings or amulets or stuff like that. But you pick them up in the world, but you cannot deconstruct them for the parts. So maybe that's some future content coming down the road. Your side quests. There is hundreds of side quests per zone, which one quest we're leading off into branches, you could have 5 quests within that one primary quest you pick up. So there's your 5 quests right there. Then you go to the next guy. That's 5 more. Going up to 10, it just keeps going and going. Then you guys out there that like to explore, there is a ton of crap in this game that you can explore. Once you finish your alliance's quest, you hit veteran ranks. Instead of me having to make an alternate character to go experience stuff in the Daggerfall Covenant or the Aldmeri Dominion, I just take my fresh level 50 and go over to Daggerfall and start in veteran quests, where I'm doing all the story quests and all the side quests for that alliance. That is a freaking amazing idea to me, because I do not like spending my time between alts. I'm not like Gimme. Gimme likes bringing up 2 or 3 characters at a time, but I'm not on that. I like min-maxing one character.
On the old guy again. Okay, I see.
Yeah, I'm going to continue to pick on the old guy until the day that both of us are dead. That's just the way it is, buddy. But just the stuff is there. The content is there. You've got dungeons to run. All the dungeons in this game, with the exception for the Ebonheart Pact, the first 3 that you do, They don't have that much mechanics to them, but they're enjoyable. They've got a storyline to it. It's just not go here, kill boss one, go here, kill boss two. There's a reason behind you doing this, and there's mechanics hidden inside that quest that makes you want to push through that dungeon and get it done. And you've got the anchors. The anchors have some sort of story behind them, and you'll find out as you progress in the story quest, find out what's causing those. Get tired of running your PvE content, you can go out to Cyrodiil and do PvP. The PvP in this game is a lot. It's like Guild Wars 2 and Dark Age of Camelot had a bastard love child, in my opinion. The scrolls are a lot like the relics from Dark Age of Camelot. The mass PvP is a lot like Dark Age of Camelot / Guild Wars 2. Well, Guild Wars 2 minus the culling that plagued it at release. But all of it's there. If you want to do PvE stuff in Cyrodiil, there is PvE content in Cyrodiil. So you're constantly doing something. Like both of you said, the people that are complaining about this game are the ones that make a bum rush from 1 to 50. Biggest thing you've got to remember in an MMO is to sit back and enjoy the ride. If you rush to 50, you will burn yourself out, and you will start crying on forums. You'll start posting comments on YouTube videos. You'll go to Reddit, and you will just constantly complain about no content there. If you have run out of content to do, I don't use this statement lightly, you're doing it wrong. Would you agree with me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. One thing that I wanted to mention earlier that I forgot to was the content in this game is set up where you can set aside an amount of time. If all you got is 15 minutes to play before you got to go to work, got to go to school, whatever you're doing, there's something for you to do and be engaged in that short amount of time. You don't have to set aside 3 to 4 hours because you're at a level where all you can do is dungeons and raids and stuff like that, and that's all you're going to be able to do. So if you don't have that much time, there's not even a point in playing. You can really, there's always something for you to do no matter how much time you have available to play.
Well, yeah, so pretty much I think all of us are on the same page saying that there is plenty of stuff here to do.
Yeah. But I would just finish up by saying that all of the gameplay styles are in the game. You can do anything you want. If you want to grind. If you want to do quest. They're there. You want to PvP. It's there. If you run through to 50 and 5 days later you're crying on the forums that you don't have stuff to do, well, hey, I don't know how to fix that. But all the gameplay styles are in the game. All you gotta do is just go do them.
Yep. All right, let's move into controls, which we can touch on the UI and stuff like that also. All right, Gimme, if you would, you start us off again.
Very basic. It's a minimum UI. I kind of like it. Their whole idea in the game was they didn't want you playing a UI. They wanted you playing the game. They didn't want you looking down at, I got to hit 1-1, I got to hit 2-2, I got to hit. So they've minimized the UI, but they've also gave a little bit of a leeway there by leaving it up to the add-on community to bring some of that information back in. I think it's a nice marriage between the two.
Yeah. All right, Badday, what do you think about it?
I like it. I'm down with the minimalistic view of the UI that they bring, and the fact that they leave it open to customization. They're not even worried that people are changing the appearance of their game, or that they're fine with the customers customizing the game to their preference, which is, it's cool from a manufacturer to be open to your customers actually making the game more personal for them. I just think the user interface that comes with it, it's minimalistic, but it's effective. If that's what you want to play with, you can play just as effective as somebody who has 1,500 add-ons like I do.
Yeah.
So it's not that the user interface they have doesn't work. The user interface they have works just fine, but you can customize it to your personal preference, and they leave it completely open for new developments in the add-on community, which I think is awesome.
Oh yeah, that's a big thing to me. Like y'all stated, if you want to play with a minimalistic UI that you got 3 bars at the bottom, plus your 1 through 5 hotbar, plus your Q and your R, you can do that and keep your screen completely clutter free. But as everybody sees on mine, I've got just I run a crap ton of add-ons, which my add-ons, I think, I don't have that many, but I've got a couple. I'm running about 7 add-ons, but it really clutters my screen, which that's what I'm comfortable with. I want to know exactly what buffs I have running, exactly what my health, mana, and stamina are. I want to have multiple chat windows. I want to have a mini map, which I haven't found a good mini map out on for me yet to suit my taste, but it's there. And there's also an add-on to bring up my map. There's an add-on that shows me the location of all the sky shards. There's people out there that like to do their exploration on by themselves. I don't. I do not like hunting for stuff. Now, I don't want you to hold my hand when completing a quest, but if it's searching for something like a lore book or a sky shard, I don't want to spend that much time hunting for that stuff. I want to find it, get out of the area, and continue on. And them leaving it up to the add-on and modding community to actually provide that for us is a awesome step. I think the last game that actually did that to any kind of success was WoW, wasn't it? WoW still support a crap load of add-ons and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, WoW's add-on base is ridiculous.
Yeah, and I really like it when a developer lets players make the game their own. Pretty much, we're all under same conclusion that the game gives you the necessary tools to play, but gives you control to make it your own, right?
Well, I think that even that we went through mechanics and graphics and everything else, it's all about the player's choice. They've given you a lot of leeway to choose the way you want to do it on the screen, your gameplay, what you want to do, and content. They've given you a big choice. I don't understand why a lot of people are resistant to that, but I guess some are.
All right. Well, everybody's heard us talk about positives and stuff in the game. I've had nothing but good things to say so far in our review. Let's move into the gameplay. We're going to include mechanics and stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure we can come up with some pretty much stuff we don't like. So, Gimme, if you would, let's move into gameplay. Let's talk about what you've seen with tanking, DPS, and healing.
Okay, we're going to go with the characters. With the healing, I don't know that much about, but with the characters, you can have just about any kind of different hybrid, straight class, or anything that you really want. The animations look crisp. There are some that, right now there's a bug that all of a sudden you just stand there and you don't do anything. Okay, gotta get that fixed. If I'm pressing 1, I want 1 to go off. I don't want 3 to go off. I don't know if there is a time cue built in there of a couple seconds where if you hit the button repeatedly, it will hold that button and then fire it off down the road. That's one of the things that I don't know about right now.
Have you seen any other bugs with the mechanics or anything?
Other than a lag in some skills, not that much on the ones that I've been using. But I have had some times where I'll push and all of a sudden it freezes and does nothing. I'm sitting there going, okay, this is fun getting punched in the face.
Okay. All right, Badday, what do you think about the gameplay with the mechanics and whatnot?
Oh, I enjoy it overall. There are some small glitches. Actually, anyone who's currently watching my video is experiencing one that's fairly entertaining right now. I'm on a quest line, and I've actually pulled out of the area and I'm just standing in front of it. Yet one of my companions, Lilith Titanborn, I don't know if you guys know if she's in your storyline or not.
Yep.
She continues to respawn next to me and run to the quest area and die, and then respawn next to me, run to the quest area. She's been doing it the entire time we've been filming. It's just a funny little glitch that's currently occurring. um, but I mean, there's some mechanics that I would like to see fixed. Mainly from the tanking standpoint, because that's mainly what I do. I'd like to see the aggro mechanics be more defined. There's no real science behind how to hold aggro right now. People can actually trump a taunt that's supposed to last for 15 seconds with say, ransack, which is kind of, when it's a taunt, you would think the taunt would override everything. There has been taught that they're going to fix that, but it's just like Gimme said. There's sometimes where you're standing there and all of a sudden everybody stops moving, and then next thing you know, you're half life and everything jumps back into play.
Yeah.
And there's no frame rate change or nothing like that in my system, so I just assume that that's lag. But overall, I mean, I like the mechanics. I like the fact that you only get to pick 6 skills to use. You get 5 skills in your ultimate. So you really have to prioritize what you want to put on your bar, or get good at swapping weapons, and that opens up a few more skill slots. But you have to prioritize it. It's not like it is in other games like World of Warcraft and such, where you have 30 plus action bars or buttons that you can hit at any time. It simplifies the game, which in my opinion, the simpler you make the game, the more strategic and the more customization you actually give the player. So I really like that. Overall, like I said, a few minor glitches here and there that I'm sure they'll get the bugs worked out. But I mean, I'm very pleased with the game. It's the game that has got me to stop playing other games at this point.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with everything that both of you have stated, but some of the stuff that I've seen in gameplay mechanics, a little bit of history on my play style. Most of the time, my main class that I play is a DPS, probably a stealther, something along those lines. But I also enjoy tanking. I myself have not 100% figured out tanking yet. Like I said, there's no real clear-cut way how to hold aggro or how to successfully utilize your taunts. Back in beta weekend, our first time running Fungal Grotto, I thought my job was to hold all the mobs. It's not. In this game, you have got to hold the biggest threat and let your DPS and your healers take out the other ones.
Yeah, I remember that. That didn't work very well.
Yeah, it didn't turn out well at all. I mean, I think we wiped on the first pull.
Yeah, it was like, what the hell?
Yeah. But moving into the DPS is the same as it is in every game. You just smash buttons and melt face. Basically what you do. Healing, I cannot speak for healing because I flat out refuse to play a healer. Everybody's tried to get me to try a healer. I don't do healers, period. I don't enjoy it, but I know it's there if I want to. And there's no clear-cut best healer in this game. One of the guys in our guild, Brim, he's got a Nightblade healer, which he main heals with, and it works very effectively. Then we've got some other guys that run a Templar heal, and it works just as well. Different play style. But one thing I do want to touch on is the Mega Server. I really believe the Mega Server is a great idea because you don't have to worry about picking an underpopulated server. You're always going to have people that you can pull from, which I think that is a freaking amazing idea. But it is sort of a new technology, which they hadn't worked all the bugs out with it yet. With a Mega Server, you're going to run into stuff that's called phasing. Phasing is kind of a new thing that the companies are starting to try in MMOs. And it is both a great thing and it is a freaking terrible thing all at the same time. Because give you an example, if me and Gimme are running a quest and I pick a different response than he does, I will disappear or he will disappear, and will be in separate instances of that quest. Which I believe they have spoken about doing some kind of fix to that where you don't disappear or anything.
Yeah, they talked about some fixes for that, but I agree with you. The layering is the biggest problem in this game.
Yeah, just the phasing in general will make you want to pull your head out, pull your hair
Yeah.
out.
It really does hurt the whole idea of grouping together.
Yeah, so
They definitely got to get that under control.
yeah, and that's just it will just, is it game breaking? No, it's not, but it is enough to just really piss you off. Really piss you off. I mean, I've had to log out and just step away from the computer for fear that I was going to break something.
Well, you can't help people. Take Crowswood, for example. One of our members wanted to go in there and he needed help killing the boss mob. He chose a different ending than I did. I can't help him. I already finished it, but I can't go back in. There needs to be a way there that where you're in a group, that the quest be set to the lowest level of the lowest person. That would fix everything.
Or at
Yeah.
least set it to the party leader, like it's been in other games,
Exactly.
where, if I'm the party leader and I've already done the quest, then I can't help you through the quest. But if I give you lead and you have the quest, then I can follow you into the quest because you're the party leader.
Or it
That
sets
would
it to just the person who goes into that instance. Like if I want to help Gimme, but I'm further along and he's the first one to go into an instance, it sets it to his instance level, basically.
That's what they need to do.
Yeah, that would fix a lot of it. The other problems I've had, a bunch of people have been talking about how they've had bugs with falling through the world and crap like that. I have clocked, I think, 3 days total in playing, gotten one character to 41, gotten one character to veteran rank 1. I have been stuck or fallen through the world one time. That's it, just one time. All these people that are having trouble with falling through the world, I don't know what they're doing to cause it. I mean, I really don't, because I do not get stuck. That does not happen to me. The skill bug, I don't know what happens with it. You'll just stand there, you won't be able to attack or anything. I think that's timing between the client and the server. I don't know, but one way to fix it, it's a gamble because you will probably die while doing it, is just type /reload UI, and a lot of times that will fix it. But there's been some times I have been dead as soon as it gets finished with this little cycle. The game does have some bugs in it. The main bugs that I've come across is bugs with quests. There are some quest bugs out there that will just make you want to choke a dog. It's just aggravating at times with some of those bugs. But really, you got to ask yourself, what MMO at release has not had bugs like that? Yes, it
No.
should have been fixed in beta. Yes, they should have tested it more. I believe the game could have benefited from a week-long open beta, just to seriously stress test the server. But then when you release a game for that long in a open beta state, you have people that get burnt out on it, and you lose your subscriber base, unless they're serious fans of the genre, serious fans of the lore. Which a lot of people, for Elder Scrolls, this is one of the biggest fan base of any fantasy title out there, But a lot of the problems with the bug quests give you a good opinion. One of the at the Mages Academy in Deshaun, there's one quest where you got a pond and 4 little spheres you've got to change around. What's causing that is not really a bugged quest line, but the way the phasing is set, people are interacting it and it's bleeding over and it's messing up your rotation on them. So
Yep.
a lot of people say it's a bug quest. So it's not really a bug, it's a glitch. They just got to handle it different. Graphics bugs, I haven't seen any tearing. Every now and then you'll come across a like an item in the world that will have a red box with item not found on it. That's just a bug graphics thing. Game breaking? No. I think it's comical as hell, to tell you the truth. But,
It's just a missing texture is all it is.
Yep, that's all it is. And stuff like that will be fixed. The quest bugs will be fixed. all you people that are having problems falling through the world, that will be fixed. Now, I know you don't want to hear it will be fixed in a patch, but that's just the nature of a beast with an MMORPG. You have got to be patient. You have got to give them time to fix. Now, is
We've been out for
this
what, a
game
month?
out? No. You've got to look at the entire scope of this game, what they're trying to push. In my personal opinion, ZeniMax and Bethesda have done a great job. Bethesda's just the publisher, guys. ZeniMax is the developer. So people who saying Bethesda really screwed this game up, Bethesda don't know what they're doing, they're not the guys behind the programming. ZeniMax is the guys that are publishing this. They're the ones that are programming everything. And you've also got to look at ZeniMax is in my opinion, they're a pretty good company. You just got to give them time since this is their first step into the arena of online MMORPGs. They will get it. You've got to give them time. I mean, look at them as a rookie quarterback. They've got to come into their own. John Elway, Dan Marino, all those guys were rookies at one time. But now look at them. They were some of the best quarterbacks we ever had in NFL history. But that's just my personal opinion on this game, But anyway, that's pretty much going to wrap us up on the gameplay part of it with mechanics. So, Jimmy, you had some other stuff you wanted to cover right quick?
Yeah, they put out a roadmap to the future, and I just wanted to go over a few of the items that they were talking about that were interesting. The justice system.
I'm dead.
Don't do that.
Yeah, I base jump without a parachute.
You're still falling off things.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, if you would, go to the roadmap right quick, and we'll give our opinions on the roadmap.
Okay. Well, number one, system will allow grouping players to see each other in phases. Yay.
So, one of the things we covered.
Yeah. And then there's the justice system. There will be some type of stealing from NPCs. I'm sure that's going to be with the Thieves Guild and the Dark Brotherhood. But if you get caught, there's going to be a consequence, which I think is great. They're moving the European server to a European data center. Field of view adjustments, armor and dyes, and tinting.
That's a big thing to me is the dye system, because like right now I'm wearing like a pink colored glove, and I do not like pink.
I'm going to make all your armor pink next time.
I will slap you in the face. I know where you live. I've got your address in my garment.
Increased ability to pick up items in the world. Really? We need to pick up more items? I'm not sure where that one's going.
Yeah, that's one thing I want to touch on right quick is the itemization in this game. You can pick up pretty much anything you come across, but I swear to God, I wish the damn banks were not shared between characters.
Yeah.
I really do.
Thieves Guild and Dark Brotherhood storyline and quests, and they're going to have their own skill lines, I understand. So. And then there is spell crafting. I'm curious about some more information on that.
Maybe it'd be like the spellcrafting in Oblivion or Morrowind. That'd be pretty cool.
I'm not sure. I've been digging, but I haven't seen anything else on it. Horse racing. Wonder if they're actually allowed you to bid on horses, or if it is just going to be riding them.
Yeah.
There you go with your gambling problem again.
Yeah, he's done.
Yeah. At least they don't have a Mystic Forge in this damn game.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that was bad times for me.
Improvements on fishing. This is something we didn't touch on before. Fishing. Okay, you have to improve it because you can't make it any worse. There's absolutely no reason to fish right now that I can.
Yeah, it's just trophies, right?
It's just trophies that you can sell for money. I guess if you were absolutely zero money, you could go out and catch a bug and go catch a fish and sell it for $15. But other than that, there's just no reason for it. Crafting system improvements.
Fix that.
Yeah.
And they don't really go into detail on the crafting system improvements, do they?
Nothing that I've seen so far.
Okay.
Improved looking for groups system. So, well, I don't know exactly how they're going to improve it, but better NPCs facial animations. One of those things is like, okay, I would actually take that one off the list. I really don't care if the guy is grimacing or sucking his thumb or whatever. No.
Okay. And I apologize for some of the background noise, guys. I live close to a auxiliary naval air station, and they deem it necessary to fly right over my house on their approaches.
Guild functionality updates. Interesting thing. They're going to do some work on the interfacing, customizing guild insignias, tabards, guild ranks, and the guild kiosks. Now, this is one thing a lot of people are talking about on Reddit and everything is that it's a different way where a guild will bid on a kiosk so they can sell to the public. I actually, after thinking about it, I believe this is a bad idea.
Well, being able to sell to the public.
The only people who are going to do it are the gold farmers. Then they're going to be able to outbid anybody. So you're going to have gold farmers bidding for kiosks.
Yeah. Oh, so it's got a monetary value tied to the kiosk.
Yeah, you have to bid for it.
Okay.
So you're going to see there could be some exploiting with that. Have to wait and see. Auto leveling dungeons to the level of the group leader. I think Badday touched on that earlier about doing that with groups. So they're going to auto level the dungeon to the group leader's level.
Okay, that's cool. All right, y'all keep going over that for a minute. I've got to step away from the mic for just a minute or two.
Okay, award systems when you repeat dungeons and an Imperial City PvP dungeon. And that's pretty much the end of the list as you walk away from the map. You got anything to say, Bad Day? About
Yeah,
any of those?
yeah. One thing I noticed while looking in forums and just some developer notes is that they're looking to change the way that the healing is done in this game, which I mean I touched on earlier, and we've talked about several other occasions. Right now, healing is broken in this game. It's just spam AOE.
Cut out there.
Sorry about that. I know we touched on that earlier, and we talked on several occasions about how healing is broken in this game. All healers do is stand in the back and spam AoEs, and right now, from what everybody's saying, once you get to higher end veteran content, healers can't keep up. And one, I'm not trying to take anything away from anybody out there, but through the leveling process, you don't really get practice at high end healing. There's just a difficulty spike at the end of veteran content that you just don't get practice for during the leveling process because healing is so broken at lower levels that it needs to be fixed. So what they're talking about doing is taking some of the heals and turning them into single target heals and increasing their potency, which is going to be awesome because one, it'll take away the difficulty spike of, okay, I don't have enough heals to drop on this one guy to save him in this particular instance. What it'll then do is cause the healers to have to prioritize heals and prioritize the targets on that heal, or the heal on that target, excuse me, which I think will make healing a lot more enjoyable because you got a lot of healers out there that are complaining that, oh, it's just too easy, the game's not even fun, it's just that cry me a river bullcrap that they do. But because if you want to have fun in a game, don't play a healer. That's my opinion. But
yeah,
me too.
I never heal ever. But people. I just jumped off a mountain and died. I felt bad. I had to help Bushmaster out there.
Never follow him. Don't go by his directions. It's really bad.
So, but they're coming out with hot fixes for healing, which I think is going to make the game much more enjoyable, higher level, and for the healers. And you're really going to have standout healers now. Everybody's not going to be the same, which is going to be awesome. They're also looking to come out with some hot fixes for tanking. I think right now the only thing in this game that isn't in need of some form of hot fix is DPS. but it's all well within manageable levels for them to be able to fix it in just 3, 4 very small patches. So I mean, I look forward to what they're going to do with this game in the future because I already think it's a great game, and I just really look forward to where it's going to go in the future.
Yeah, I think you're right about that healing, making it more skill based instead of me hitting one, one, one. Okay, I'm having a lot of fun here. What do? I hit one, one, one. It's no fun. We've seen this in other games.
Yeah.
I use a lot of EverQuest 1 comparisons. Back then, you had a healing chain of maybe 10, 15 people to keep the tank alive. A full heal took 10 seconds to cast. You had to time it, you had to have the right person. There was a lot of skill involved with it. There were people that just could not heal. You didn't have enough skill to do it. But
Yeah, I'm one of
healing
them.
in
I
these other
don't heal.
games, yeah, healing in all of these other games seem to have taken a back seat to DPS and tanking. And I think that they need to change that a little bit. I think it would make it a lot more fun.
Yeah, you need to make it where a great healer is takes just as much skill as a good tank or a good DPS.
Yeah, I think what they've done in a lot of games is they look at it as, okay, people are going to tank, people are going to DPS, they're going to need healers. Let's just make healing easy so that people will do it and be done with it. And I like what they're talking about doing with the hot fixes and making it a lot more skill based, because there are some people out there that are just great healers. And
Yep, I got one that I'm trying to talk into playing now. He was my healer in Warhammer Online and Age of Conan.
Yeah, I got my buddy that's followed me from game to game to game, and I mean his screen name's Motorboater. He's probably gonna put out a healing video here soon.
Great.
But he's just an amazing healer. He's always been an amazing healer, and I've always been a tank, and he's always been my healer.
Good stuff. It's like my friend Carnot. I've sat in a scenario in Warhammer Online, and he has healed me against the entire other teams, everybody from the other team, and he kept me up while I was on the tank. All right, well, we're getting pretty long-winded here, but anyway, does anybody have any closing comments they'd like to add right quick, short and sweet?
No, I think we covered just about everything.
Yeah, I just look forward to what they're gonna do with the game in the future. Like I said, I think it's a great game currently, and they're just gonna do amazing things with it.
Oh yeah, the stuff's there to pull from. It's gonna be nice, be really nice. But anyway, guys, we hope you really enjoyed our ESO month in review. One other thing that I'd like to ask y'all: do y'all think this game warrants the $15 a month price tag?
Yes.
Yeah, by far, it's better than other games out there that are at the same price. So yes.
There is one thing a lot of people don't understand about free to play compared to subscription. Subscription, there is no marketing push in the game. They got your money. That's all they need to do is concentrate on making it. Free to play games, to get you to do the microtransactions, there has to be a need. It might be slight, or it might be just nudging you towards buying something. But there's always that need to push you towards microtransactions. I would much rather pay $15 and not have to worry about any of that stuff.
I'm under the same. I think the same way. I think it warrants the $15 a month because I don't have to worry about having to use real money to expand my bank. I don't have to worry about them nickeling and diming me to death over content updates. I don't have to worry about paying real money to change the appearance of my character or to open up more character slots. So it does warrant it. Yes, in most subscription-based games, you don't have to worry about botting, but there's bots. Bots are a plague in this game right now. But
Bots
they
go
are
first.
taking steps to fix it. So yeah. Anyway, bottom line, I really believe it's worth the $60 buy-in, $15 a month subscription. Really do. But anyway, we hope y'all enjoyed our ESO month in review. Please check me and Kimmy out at www.dreadforge.com. Please hit that like button if you like it. Hit that dislike button if you don't like it. Bad Day, give us some background on your channel and your guild right quick, if you would.
Oh yeah, with Beer and Peanuts Guild, Daggerfall Covenant, Beer and Peanuts Gaming at www.beerandpeanuts.com. That's just the N, it's not and, so it's beerandpeanuts.com. And check me out on YouTube, Bad Day Gaming, and YouTube.
All right, well, good deal. But anyway, guys, we hope y'all really enjoyed it, and we'll see y'all on the field. You guys have a great day, and peace out.